And you never showed your face for a while. What made you decide to put yourself out there, and how has that gone for you? It seems like you have a lot of fans now, especially in Canada.
Yeah, Canada is crazy, dude. Like I said it briefly earlier, but when people recognize me or something, it's like, what? It's really weird. It's awesome. It's great. I love when
Do
people
they call you Rob or the Heat Daddy?
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in airports that like shouted at me. I'm just like, dude, how did these people even
You get a lot of comments too on YouTube and TikTok and all these events. Like I was just doing a ton of research. I'm like, people love who you are. What
Mhm.
do you think they love so much about you?
Probably that I just come off like I don't give a shit. Like to answer your question, I didn't show my face because I had a real job. I was in a cubicle. I was doing real estate stuff. Absolutely hated it. Experience though. It was actually cool to learn that business. And instead of pissing my money away, I learned how to like maybe I can put a little money here and there, longevity, so I don't end up living under the one-on-one in Arizona. Because at one point I was just going crazy. But yeah, I just when I realized that that kind of career path wasn't for me, I said, you know what, what's the worst that can happen? Because I do tweet a lot about here and there, a little drugs, a little alcohol, definitely a lot of profanity laced things. I toe the line, and I decided when I wasn't going to do real estate that I'm just going to go all in to being really who I was, like just joking around, stuff like that, and not really saying, oh, I don't want my boss to see this or I don't want whoever to see it. The only person I really care seeing my stuff is my mom.
I was
I
gonna
have to
say because
explain
you sound like you're pretty close with her. What does she think about some of the more R-rated content? How does she respond to it?
You know what? Like surprisingly well. Like she's a trooper. She definitely gets concerned. Like she gets concerned about what I'm doing, especially with the drug references, and she'll see the timestamps on my tweet. Why are you up at 4:43 in the morning? But she gets concerned, but she like gets it now. She definitely didn't at first. She was like, "This is weird." But yeah, she's good. She's good with it.
I think, digging in more on this, did anyone at your corporate job, did you like let anyone know, hey, check this out, it's my profile, this is hilarious, you should look at what I'm putting out there? Or were you like, hey, I need to keep this like completely double life mentality and no one's gonna ever know who this is except for me and maybe my two or three best friends?
Everybody besides one guy, and it's because the guy next to me was a complete savage, and he would sit there and vape and drink like 8 Mountain Dews a day, and then he was recently divorced, so he was going crazy. He was like inviting chicks to the corporate office parking lot, and I'm not going to get into what he was doing with them, but
Middle of the workday.
this guy, he had some screws loose, but great guy. Like, but everybody besides him, to him, I talked about like this is I do this cool shit on the side. But everyone else, yeah, it was a pretty big. I guess it's not a secret, but I just didn't really want to
So
tell
how
anyone.
did all these NHL guys find out about it? I'm a huge Austin Matthews fan. I actually went to game 6 and he doesn't know I was there, but a huge fan. Also a fellow Latino hockey player, so very much connect with the story. He follows you. A bunch of other really pro, like famous pro hockey players follow you. Do they know that Rob is Heat Daddy, or like how did they hear about you?
Now they do the ones I'm friends with.
Yeah,
I'm really good friends with a lot of guys in the
yeah,
league. I actually, I, I'm pretty media trained, believe it or
yeah.
not. Like I won't say who I'm friends with or
No,
what.
and I like that. You didn't say anything about who you sold houses, like, really
Right.
loyalty, Young Dolph, loyalty above
Shout out
all
to Young
else.
Dolph.
We love Young Dolph,
R.I.P.
RIP, loyalty, trust is everything. I completely agree, and I think that's something that everyone should value more of in this world, is if you have someone who you love or care about and really looks out for you and you can trust them, never let that person go. That's really powerful. So, these guys clearly trust you and they like hanging out with you. Did you meet them through Twitter, or where did you meet them?
Yeah, most of it was guys coming into town in Arizona. They're playing the Coyotes, and there's yo, like we gonna go get a beer, whatever.
Like, that's
At
amazing.
yeah, at first I was really reluctant to do that because I didn't want to put them in a bad spot or get in trouble or whatever.